talking New Mexico State Aggies today on Sharpen the Point. 2024 was a disappointing season at 3-9. Tony Sanchez enters his second season hoping to improve upon that number. Brings in offensive coordinator David Yost from FIU in hopes that he can turn this offense around. The quarterback position was just absolutely abysmal a year ago, and they're turning to Logan Fife to be the starter. He comes in from Montana after previously having limited starts at Fresno State. He started the whole season at Montana a year ago. He's pretty much a statue back there. He's got limited mobility. He struggled mightily when given opportunities at Fresno State and really was just a game manager at Montana, aside from 2 high-scoring games that they got into where he played well. I don't expect him to be Diego Pavia. He's not. He's not going to carry the offense. He's just a role player in the offense that will be an improvement over last year's quarterback play. But at the same time, he's not the savior of an offense. True freshman Jalen Patterson is likely to be the number 2. That tells you how poor quarterback play was last year, because the guy who started most of the season, Parker Awad, he's getting sent to the number 3 spot. And Patterson impressed during the spring. He looks to be groomed to be the quarterback of the future and somebody that Sanchez is going to have to hang his hat on. The running back room got absolutely decimated with Seth McGowan going to Kentucky, Mike Washington going to Arkansas, also lost Monty Watkins, who was a favorite of mine at one point. They combined for over 1,500 yards and 11 touchdowns a year ago, so there's a ton of production that needs to get made up for. Dejon Stanley comes in from Utah. He's an explosive athlete that is going to get design touches both through the air and on the ground, but he can't carry a full load. So he's a complementary piece that is going to make explosive plays for the offense to help him move the football. I kind of lean towards Kadarius Callaway. He was added late in the spring this year. He was at Cal last year but didn't play. They had a very talented running back room. Now it's all in the portal. He came there from Old Dominion. He led Old Dominion in rushing in 2023, and he could easily do so here as well. He has a nice size-speed combo that is going to be interesting to see how it plays out compared to the guys returning of Tim Gans and Isaiah Ruddison, who also will factor into the mix early in the year. It's just a question of if Callaway can kind of take the job of the thunder portion to Stanley's lightning in this backfield, or whether they want to go full RBBC and have a 3 to 4 man rotation to hang their hat on. Pass catching wise, they return guys. You get TJ Pride, you get PJ Johnson. They're both returning after being the top 2 receivers a year ago. I expect them to lead the room again, and hopefully their numbers improve because their passing offense last year was just absolutely atrocious. Jackson Owens should round out the starting trio. I like him. He came out of Riverside City College in California. 900 yards and 12 touchdowns a year ago. He got a lot of first-team reps in the spring. I expect him to be in the starting rotation as well. Tyler King is going to mix in some. He comes from Wyoming. He's got great top-end speed. He plays out of the slide. He's a little shorter guy, but he's going to mix into the rotation and add an element that maybe they were lacking since they've had a lackluster passing game of late. He'll be helpful specifically for Fife. Gavin Harris comes from Central Michigan. He's going to start at tight end. He was fairly effective in the pass game there. He should also have a solid receiving role here, although it may not be noteworthy for any fantasy expectation. I don't expect much from this passing offense, given that it averaged 143 yards per game a year ago. The hope will be they get to 200 or north of 200 this season with Fife back there. But it's a guy coming up a level, and he struggled in the G5 previously, and he did not put up gaudy numbers in the FCS. This is high-end FCS in the Missouri Valley Conference, but at the same time, it's still an FCS conference, and we've seen guys coming up from that. It's a tough transition. On the offensive line, you got a lot of new starters, including both tackles with only one starter returning. North Texas transfer Micah Lee looks likely to be the starting left tackle. He will be a solid guy there. Florida A&M transfer Yannick Ogunlade is likely to be the right tackle. And then last season's left guard, AJ Vaipula, he left for Washington State. He was planning to be the center. He was going to be the linchpin of this offensive line. So now you're looking at a ton of youth on the interior of this line that will need to hold up, specifically with Fife's capability to move in the pocket. On the defense, I wish I had better news for you here, guys. Like this defense has nearly no redeeming qualities at this point. Any hopes that they had, they all left in the spring portal. The best returning player is certainly Tyler Martinez at linebacker, who had 94 tackles one season ago. He's going to have to carry the load. He's going to have a ton of tackles because he was going to be on the field a lot. Defensive end, Butta Paletti, he led the team in sacks a year ago. He went to Washington State. Gabe Peterson's going to return at defensive end. They're going to hope that he takes over for Paletti. We'll see. I mean, he had a one-year stint at Utah State and came back. Rontravius Perry had a really nice spring game at linebacker. He entered the portal. Safety DeMarcus Crosby, the team's second leading tackler from a year ago. He went to UVA. They added a ton of JUCO guys at DB in the portal, just hoping that these guys will stick and that somebody's going to step up. It was a porous defense a year ago. I expect it to be a porous defense this year as well. 2025 schedule and outlook. The offense was solely a land-based animal a year ago. They simply could not. They didn't even know that the pass game existed. They were playing 1930s football, and they could because the running room was really good. But that looks no different again with Logan Fife, and these weapons on the outside are not screaming aerial attack. They're going to be improved, but at the same time, this is not the teams that we saw with Jerry Kill and Diego Pavia. The run game probably has likely downgraded comparison to the talent they had in here, although Callaway and Stanley can make up for it to some degree, but it's not going to be 100% of what it was last season. The defense has to improve by comparison to a year ago to even stand a chance. They allowed over 36 points per game, 447 yards, over 250 passing, 195 rushing. They have some returning pieces, but with what they're relying on, man, you gotta hope for improvement if you want to stand any chance here. Schedule-wise, Bryant, you're looking at a fairly easy win here. That's nice to get off to a good start. Then you run into Tulsa. That's going to be tough. You're going to have to face Dom Richardson, who you originally hoped would be the running back before he turned coat and left again. Louisiana Tech, that's not a great team. It's kind of a battle of the bad here, and maybe that's a coin flip. That's a coin flip game. If you get out 2-1, that's a great start. Then you head to New Mexico. It's a rivalry game. We know you don't like each other. They aren't as good as last year, certainly with Bronco leaving, Devin Dampier leaving. There's maybe a shot because of the rivalry nature of this game, but they're still reasonably talented on their team. Sam Houston, they changed a lot, but you're not winning that game. I'm sorry, no. At Liberty, you just got to hope you don't get blown out there because Liberty's okay, good enough, especially compared to the conference. That's your conference title contender, number one. Missouri State, that should be a coin flip game. I'll be interested to see how they perform coming up from the FCS. Not a lot of teams perform very poorly when they come up from the FCS. Sans James Madison, who just outright has dominated. At Western Kentucky, no sir. That's title contender number 2 with Liberty. Kennesaw, that's a bad team. We'll see how they perform with the new coaching staff. That's a close game. It's a coin flip. At Tennessee, ask for the running clock in the fourth quarter. You're going to need it. You're going to hope that you perform better than Kent State did a year ago at Tennessee. At UTEP, that's a talented team. I don't think so. Middle Tennessee, Nick Vadiato is going to be simply too much for this defense. So at the end of the day, keep your expectations low, as you should be a low-powered offense, a bad defense, and that's not a recipe for success. So you're going to really hope that you can build on something this year and show improvement on last season. If you can get to 4 wins, it's a good season. And if you can allow under 30 points per game on defense and get to 200 pass yards per game on offense, I would call that a win for this season.